Coach, how do you feel like the team has responded since the loss on Saturday?
We just had a really good day. We really did. The energy was high and focus was good. And for a Tuesday practice, I thought the execution was pretty solid too. So they came in ready and they were focused and wanted to make sure that they can nail down the details of this plan. And I thought they did. I thought they did a really good job today.
When you looked over the game, what was it that Kentucky was able to do, or maybe to yourself with the penalties, that just took you out of the game plan that y'all really had in mind?
Well, I just think that they challenged us. They challenged us at the line of scrimmage, and they challenged us on the perimeter. And, we weren't disciplined enough to our fundamentals. We weren't disciplined to our assignments. We got to give credit to them because they put the pressure on us, but we just didn't respond the right way. We didn't execute at a high enough level. We said that before in here. It's critical that we continue to improve our execution, and when we got challenged a little bit there, we didn't respond necessarily the right way. But by no means is any of that uncorrectable and everything. So we feel really good about where this team can go, its capabilities, and all that good stuff. So we have to execute better. We have to be more disciplined. We have to be more focused.
Do you feel it was more of what Kentucky did or what more you didn't do?
I just think it was a lack of, I guess the word is focus. When you do those types of things and have 6 false starts and the number of unsportsmanlike conduct fouls that we had, I think that's just a lack of focus. So again, like I said, all that stuff's correctable, and the way that those guys came in today, I'm really excited about moving forward the rest of this week.
Is it oversimplified to say that you look at other SEC teams or any team and think they might try to copy that blueprint and attack you the same way, particularly blocking or things like that?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot to that. I think anytime somebody has the amount of success that Kentucky had against us, that would make total sense to do that. But on our half, we feel like it's a personal thing. We got to look at ourselves, not necessarily what Kentucky did schematically or anything like that. We had to be better fundamentally. We had to be more focused and disciplined. And we do that stuff. We'll take care of whatever opponent it is that's in front of us.
Coach, obviously you don't have a connection to the previous staff, but your players do. So how do you kind of manage the emotional aspect of it this week?
I mean, for me, it's just you got to take it like it's another game. It's the next game. It's the most important game because it's the next game. I mean, that's my focus. That's my approach. And that's the way we did it in Green Bay. I mean, it didn't matter if it was the NFC Championship game or if it was Week 2 against Minnesota Vikings or Week 5 against the Cleveland Browns. It didn't matter. The next game was the most important. And for me, that's been, that's always going to be my motto. That's the way I'm going to approach this thing. And I know that there'll be some emotional things that you really won't feel until probably Friday or Saturday. But again, we lacked focus and discipline last week, so obviously that's going to be a big focus for us as a coaching staff to make sure that we get these guys dialed in the whole week.
How much does it help, or does it help at all that you've both played one common opponent? Now you can look at how Florida and both of you played one team.
Honestly, it's probably honestly irrelevant because, one, again, the first thing that's most important to us is us. We have to take care of our own and do what we're supposed to do the way we're supposed to do it every single time. The next thing is now you have to look at the opponent and say, okay, what challenges do they present? And obviously Florida has a lot of skilled athletes on their side of it, especially on defense. And so we got different obstacles, different challenges. Most importantly, we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and make sure we're taking care of our own.
Todd Grantham was a really aggressive defense, and it lends itself to giving up big plays from time to time. Is that something you're going to look to attack this week?
Yeah, nothing's changing with us, guys. We're going to be attacking. That part of it is, who we are, and so we're going to get back into that a little bit more. We're going to be attacking ourselves, and again, that part of it, them being aggressive, that's us doing our responsibilities, our assignments the right way, the way we're supposed to do it every single time. And so if we do our job, we feel like whatever the defense will present to us, we should be able to handle it. And that's our job to give our players their assignments and make sure that they're accountable to those assignments and make sure that they're focused and disciplined enough to be able to execute that stuff at a high level.
From a coach's perspective, how much do you think it helps Florida that Dan Mullen coached a lot of these guys, recruited a lot of these guys, knows some of their tendencies? What does that mean to you?
Sure, I mean that definitely helps. I mean we had it a couple weeks ago with Coach Hudd. When you know the opponents as well as he did, I think that gives you somewhat of at least an insight to what makes that guy tick or where maybe his strengths and weaknesses are. But again, that is a part of it, maybe a little, but to me it's minuscule because this is, again, they're focused on what they need to do. I'm sure they're not really, too worried about thinking about us, and we're not too worried thinking about them. We got to take care of our own, make sure we handle our assignments, make sure we do what we're supposed to do first. That that part of it is, they have maybe that little bit of advantage, but again, these guys, our players have the advantage of being underneath their scheme, so that part of it, and they've practiced against it a lot, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage.
Nick, how's the first couple days of practice going since Saturday?
It's going well. Saturday night we had our time to kind of go through all the emotions that we were feeling. Wake up Sunday, come get treatment, get a good workout in, get a light practice. Monday off, watch film. Tuesday come out here, had a phenomenal practice. Started outside, Lightning camp, had to move indoors, and I felt like that we had a lot of intensity about us, and I think that we had just kind of a little pep in our step.
So Coach Moorhead said there was a players-only meeting. I want to ask you the contents of the meeting, but how do you think the team has responded from that?
I think that what we covered in there was necessary. I think it was pretty obvious, what we had to cover, but it needed to be said and it needed to be brought up and brought to light, and just kind of put out in the open so people can accept it, get over what they did, put those emotions that they were playing with to the side, and just focus on football.
Coach Getsy talked a lot about focus when he was up here just a few minutes ago. Do you feel that that's going to be the big issue for you guys this week?
Absolutely. I think it's a huge thing each week. You got to go out there and focus on one play at a time. Your assignment, doing your 111th, and just trying to do it perfect. Perfect play. All 11 guys just do their job. None of us do anything spectacular. And you see when we do that, we move the ball and we're very explosive.
How unusual is this week going to be for you guys, knowing who's on the other side and the relationships that y'all built through the years with Coach Mullen?
To me, we're playing Florida. It's not about emotions. It's not about who's coaching. It's about who's going to be the 11 people that are on that field, and our 11 going out there and being better than their 11. There's going to be motivation, I'm sure, for some guys, but to me, it's a big, home game that against an SEC opponent that we need to win. And that's about it.
What kind of advantages can you draw from having some familiarity with the defensive scheme as well as the offensive scheme?
Absolutely. When it gets in practice, for an entire year, so kind of know what to look for. The keys that we look for in practice, help me out in the game, figuring out what coverage and that kind of thing. We read the defense differently with our last offense in this one, but having those base, having the base knowledge and kind of having to step up, when it comes to watching film. So that's gonna be good.
Florida's first 4 games, do you see any similarities to what you saw in practice last year?
Absolutely. I think that it's basically the same stuff. Maybe not as I don't want to say maybe just not as far along as we had it here. Kind of the base kind of installs that we started with here. But they know us obviously, so I'm sure they'll come out with some crazy stuff.
Have you had any communications with Dan or any of the assistants since they left?
I talk to Coach Johnson every now and then over the off season, just say hey, ask him how his kids are doing, that kind of thing. Other than that, talk to Megan Mullen a couple times, but no one really else.
Well, Cyrus has really developed in the receiving core. Just what has he meant to you as far as the passing game goes?
It's huge. He's a tall guy, big body, fast. He's a good guy to stretch the field. He'll go up, make a play on a ball. He's smart and he plays really hard. So it's good to have him kind of step up and fill that role that we needed.
When you look back at the film, did you think it was more of what Kentucky did or what you guys didn't do?
All props to them. They're a very good team. They played very well. They had a good scheme. Had a good plan. I think that we, as an offense, shot ourselves in the foot. Every chance that we had, there wasn't. I don't know if there was a drive without a penalty that put us behind the sticks. And when you're trying to kind of fight an uphill battle, constantly because you're always behind the sticks, that's tough to get anything going.
When you have those penalties, back when you get in the huddle, what are those conversations like, from you as a leader of the offense? What kind of things do you tell them?
I don't yell and scream. That's not my job. I'm not a coach. I'm a fellow player, grind with them every day. I know what they're capable of, and I just kind of try to remind them of that. They have just kind of got to lock in, focus. Don't let outside forces, don't let the crowd, don't let away game, anything like that, the rain, don't let anything that affect you. Just kind of focus on what we're doing and do your job.
As frustrating as it was, is it still easier to start a new week when you know how good this team can still be?
Absolutely. we're fine. The sun came up Sunday morning. We're all still alive, so we're gonna get back to work and work hard and put it behind us and move on.
Going back to that team meeting, who did most of the talking in that meeting?
It was just a couple of leaders on the team just got up there and said what we need to say for about 7 minutes, and then the coaches came in and we went on about our business.
Would you say the guys responded well to it, or how did you guys feel leaving that meeting?
I mean, yeah, obviously they responded well. There's not really much you can say. You messed up. You messed up. We're not gonna. We didn't call anyone out specifically. We weren't getting on anybody. We were talking about generally as a team what we have to do, what we did wrong, and then how to fix it moving forward. Stay.